So today it's under 100 degrees in Southern California.
So we made fucking espressos.
I had to take off my tank top and put on this collared shirt. Well, when we're clutching our
Suffering from hypothermia.
cups of coffee.
You look pale, Stevie.
The night tremors of the cold nights, they're coming.
Oh no.
Sub 80. We got a good one today, folks. We're going to be covering TikTok. We're going to be covering Jay Powell's speech. We're going to be covering SEC. And we're going to be covering unemployment. So there's 4 topics for today. Let's get started, Riley.
Do we have the timer whipped up? A couple podcasts ago, we talked about TikTok and like kind of what's going down with it. And this is just kind of like an update of what's going down since we're a little bit closer to the ban maybe coming into effect. So basically what's happened since we talked last about TikTok was that first of all, the CEO stepped down. His reasoning behind that was because of the tension, the political tension between China and the U.S., and then also because he basically said, like, in his parting letter, like, I didn't fucking sign up for this.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, he's like,
To put it
what
simply,
the fuck is this shit?
he's
When
like-
did he join on? 4 months ago? Something like that?
Yeah, I think it was like 104 days is the exact day.
Yeah, 104 days ago.
But he basically said in his letter, like, I didn't fucking sign up for this shit. Fuck you guys. There's already 3 fucks. That's 4. Oh.
Oh. You got a fuck count going already?
6.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, he basically said he didn't sign up for the job. He wanted like a more like, basically said he wanted more like a global role. And if TikTok becomes like acquired by somebody, that will kind of diminish that. And so he stepped down for that reason. And then also most likely they're gonna
There's reason on paper.
they're gonna get acquired. Yeah. And then also, there's been multiple bids put out between U.S. companies. So Oracle, Microsoft, Walmart, to name a couple of them, have all put in bids to acquire TikTok, but
sure.
none have been put through. TikTok values herself at $50 billion, which, for perspective,
So the B, by the way.
is 50 times their revenue. The next closest thing to that would be like Snapchat or something. Snapchat is 15 times revenue, I think.
Yeah, they're
Around
valued at 33 billion.
33 billion.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like insane that a company can value themselves at that magnitude and just having one, like they have like kind of all their eggs in one basket. So their only source of income or like reputable or like worth noting income is ad revenue. And how many
800 million active
800
monthly
million
active users.
monthly active users. So I mean,
That's worldwide, obviously.
Yeah, so this
not U.S. Riley. Early, he's like, I think that's just U.S. I'm like, motherfucker.
I was tripping,
But
totally tripping.
so yeah, do you want to get an open discussion?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. So my take on this mainly is this: TikTok's valuing themselves at 50 times their revenue yearly. And it's not so crazy in my eyes because they're going off of growth. But when you're already at 800 million monthly active users, what more growth do you want, man? There's 7 billion people in this world. Do you think that all of them have smartphones and want to be wasting their time every day on TikTok?
Yes.
I don't think so. So I think that they're a little too high up on that horse. I think that a 15 times valuation would be a lot more fair. I don't see, but then again, you're saying Snapchat and TikTok are worth the same? I don't think so.
So I just looked this up. Twitter has 330 million users worldwide,
Oh, wow.
and they've been around for 4 times probably as long as TikTok has.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, that's just weird because what's Twitter valued at? Look that up really quick while I go on a little rant.
We can pull it up. Pull it up. Come on. Look that shit up, Jamie. Pull that shit up, Jamie.
So with these tech stocks, the reason why we're comparing them is because they're all social medias. They're really similar in that sense. And the only thing that differs them is how their platforms actually function. What you're getting out of it is you're getting communication between, peers from a different part of the world.
4.4 billion.
4.4 billion Twitter. So, well, then again, Twitter just sucks. Twitter is the worst.
Twitter doesn't have like Nobody wants that fucking advertise on Twitter.
No, people. No, fuck that. People on. Well, no, that's not true. But
You see advertisements, but
yeah, for me,
it's
like
way less.
if you have depression,
Yeah,
this is, like,
exactly. It's
Twitter's
typical
a-
shit you go on Twitter for.
It's like the dark web of the fucking. I hate Twitter, but you know, you go on TikTok and you get this huge dopamine rush, and it just makes you laugh. Apparently, their curating is so magnificent that's why they're getting this type of valuations, because no one's curating as well as their algorithm.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see that too with YouTube and stuff. Everybody talks about algorithms and whatnot. It's
all-
really tech that's fueling all of this fire.
They're also saying that's part of why they're valuing themselves so high is because nobody else has that technology. And actually, well, they have the technology, just not as
Propriety.
proprietary as
Yeah.
TikTok does.
Proprietary.
Proprietary. So I was reading a little bit before this, and China about 2 hours ago put in a. Let me bring it up. They put in or they kind of like recommended
10 seconds.
that they do this thing called. Let me bring it up right quick.
Come on. Come on,
TikTok is
come
being
on.
pressured to sell its assets. Okay.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Well, yeah, in summary, TikTok is still going to be in the news. We're still going to be interested in it because it's a huge social media, and it seems like we're getting more and more into that cyberspace as technology advances. So
Okay,
on that
it's
note-
called a technology export control.
and yeah, you can talk about a little bit while I fill up the cup.
It's called a technology export control, which is what it sounds like. So it's like kind of regulating how you would export Chinese exports, but with technology instead of like a commodity or something. Give me the. I like the purple one's good. Give me that perp.
Motherfucker's taking all the purple.
So
He's laughing. I'm not laughing.
yeah, he's like actually pissed. He's like, give it back. So this isn't something that's like totally uncommon. So in 2018, Qualcomm called off a $44 billion deal to buy the Dutch chip maker NXP after Chinese regulators simply failed to either approve or reject the transaction. So this is something that could very well happen to TikTok as well. And if it does, then by I think mid-September is what Trump is saying, it's going to be banned from the United States of America, and all the TikTok boys and girls will have TikTok no more, unfortunately. But I think realistically, all the TikTok people will be fine because
They'll be fine. They're gonna be famous in one
they're
way
on
or another.
YouTube and yeah.
Dude, youth with I'll leave it at that. I mean, I would download a TikTok the other day, and Riley can attest. I fucking hated it just because it was everything wrong with society all in one app. It's all there for you right there, and I was just like the one that killed me was the WAP one. You know which one I'm talking about,
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
dude. I have nothing wrong with people who are doing these dances, but now I do. Now I do. Like, what the fuck, man?
Like, yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Let's talk about the next topic, which is Jay Powell's speech. I'll start the timer up.
Sir.
All right, timer's going. Cheers, buddy. It's too hot. I won't drink it yet, but this is more for the vibe. So Jay Powell gave a huge speech last week regarding inflation rate. So he basically said he's targeting for average inflation targeting. What this means is that the central bank will be more inclined to allow inflation to run higher than the standard 2% target before hiking interest rates. In addition to the inflation change, the Fed shifted its approach to employment in a way that will focus on those at the lower end of the income spectrum. Further on, the move means the Fed will be less inclined to hike interest rates when the unemployment rate falls, so long as inflation does not creep up as well. Central bank officials traditionally have believed that low employment leads to dangerously higher levels of inflation, and they've moved preemptively to heat it off. And then lastly, I want to add... I could talk about that later, actually. Oh, yeah. Right now, to put in context, we have an unemployment rate that's well below 10%. Kathy Jones, head of the fixed income at Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab. The chances of seeing significant inflation anytime soon are quite slim. With or without this policy change, the Fed was going to be at zero for a couple years. All right. Let's just all digest that really quick. So, first off, this 2% inflation rate is really, really important because this is what the Fed has been trying to do unsuccessfully for the last 10 years. So, they're now saying, we're going to just push it up 2.5% inflation rate. So, the way I see it is they're not even hitting 2% right now, as is, and that was their original goal. And now they're doing this 0.5% adjustment. I think we're going to be seeing way higher levels of inflation for the next, 5-6 years during this depression. I don't think that this was an accurate sentiment towards the reality. I think he's just saying this to say, hey, look, we know that inflation's going to increase and employment's going to go down eventually after this crisis, so we're adjusting for it. But he doesn't want to create scare and panic. I have a strong feeling that within the next 6 months, he's probably going to go to 3% inflation rate as his goal, because it's really going to be at 3.5. So instead of him being like, we set it at 2.5 and it's at 3.5, that was bad. He's going to be like, given the standards and norms, we're going to be setting it to 3.5% now, so that we, level off inflation. We don't have these spikes. That's the whole purpose of this, is so they don't have to adjust their monetary policy as much. So as we all know right now, they're only at 0.25 for like Treasury right now, which is nothing, 0.25%.
Yeah.
So you can basically, in my eyes, it looks like they want you to do Ponzi scheme investing. Like, they just want you to be taking out money, investing it, spending it, and just hoping that it will grow. Because right now they really need people spending, because that's what fuels our economy. The problem is we have this pandemic in addition to everything else going on. People are staying at home. They're like, fuck, I don't know. I don't have a job right now. I don't know when I'm going to have that job. There's so much uncertainty fueling the market that we're also noticing gold hitting record numbers. Gold hit a record high at 2,000 this month, while the GLD Gold Trust ETF has risen more than 29% this year in its best annual performance since 2010. And then, quote, the reason people who own gold and liked gold prior to the Fed's comments, those reasons are still in place. Negative real interest rates and ballooning of government debt. So with that being said, I want you to talk a little bit about this, Riley. I want to hear your thoughts regarding, what Jay Powell announced and what we really think is going to happen in regards to our opinions.
I think, to put it simply, what Jay Powell just said is, he said your cost of living isn't rising fast enough, so instead of it being my targeted 2%, I'm going to raise that shit, because you're not losing enough money.
Why
basically.
aren't you guys losing more money? You have to be spending more money. Where's your cost of living at?
What do you mean not like, because the bottom
CPI ain't high enough for him.
Yeah. What do you mean, like, because like the bottom, I think it's like the bottom 50% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck or don't have anything invested, just in savings. So I mean, they're, with their money just sitting there, it's losing this inflation target, whatever it's going to be, year over year. So he's devaluing their money, one, and then two, the people that have money and that they can invest, that they do invest, they just become richer because the stock market's being pumped up right now and held up by the Fed. So, I mean, I think that this is just, I'm a big fan of just letting the free market run and just whatever
Let in the streets.
whatever happens, happens. Like, I think that's how it should be. I mean, to an extent, obviously, but like...
Well, the worst part is the best way for our capitalist society to work is for less intervention, less people saying, hey, we're going to implement this. We're going to save you guys. We're going to save these businesses.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're going to talk about this later. There's not so much saving going on. It's a lot of greed and a lot of hypocrisy.
Exactly. And it's
coming from the top down. That's the worst part. And it's not getting to the down. You see what I'm saying here?
It sounds good. Like, short term, this is a solution, but long term, this is going to absolutely fuck us in the face, I think.
Mm-hmm. Right here.
Especially come November.
Coming all over November. All right. I still have, like, all of my coffee left.
Me too.
Oh, dude, just...
It's like eating a pizza roll right out of the oven. Just hot as shit and it burns your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Noises.
Who dat?
Drinking so much coffee, we're starting to hear shit. Going schizo. Like, fucking... I can't even chug it because it burns my throat.
I like the pain. Makes me feel something for once.
So he has Twitter. No. All right. Another espresso. Why not? Dude, we don't have to tell these motherfuckers what we're about now. They just know.
Yeah.
All 6 of you.
All 6 of you guys. Respect the espresso. All right, so our next topic is going to be having to do with the SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's basically the regulators of the financial market.
Yeah, I like this topic.
The regulators of the financial market, pretty much.
This is a systemic topic in regards to, you're not going to notice the change right away. Like the TikTok thing, you're going to notice it right away. The unemployment right away. Well, the other thing I mentioned, the inflation rate, no one ever notices, but it's happening in front of our eyes constantly. So This is just different angles to look at things. But yeah, I'll fill you up too, buddy.
So yeah, the SEC is basically like kind of the law when it comes to the financial like.
You want a purple again?
Dude, give me a red.
This guy wants a red. Whoa.
Hold up. They're kind of like the police. So I mean, classic example is Jordan Belfort. He's the SEC is the reason that guy was in jail, pretty much.
Every 15-year-old's fucking mentor.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to be a wolf. Yeah.
I just want to trade stocks.
Yeah, Jordan Belfort, Icon, Dirty Money Trick. Yeah.
Insert song here.
Yeah, straight up.
So basically, what's going on with the SEC is they have like these guidelines to invest in private equity, which is basically a company that is not traded on the stock market. So that would be like Uber before it went on the stock market. Now,
It's a private company. They're not public yet.
exactly. So
Publicly traded.
a publicly traded company, yes.
You can go still buy their shit, but yeah, they're not. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a company that's not public or hasn't gone public yet. Now, normally this is a very hard industry to get in because you have to be what's called an accredited investor, and that means you have to have a monthly income of not a monthly, that'd be crazy, a yearly income of $200,000 a year,
Still crazy though.
Or-
200
yeah.
grand a year, like,
or $300,000 jointly.
between you and your partner.
Yes. To be considered an accredited investor, along with a couple other things, you have to meet like one of these requirements that they have.
You got to do a full split. You have to, do a backflip. If you can't do a front flip,
Yeah.
dude, good luck. But backflip's required.
So basically, education was never really like put into this. So to be an accredited investor, pretty much you just had to be rich, and that was it. So it was very like set off to like a specific group of people. Like,
The rich get richer.
Exactly. But now they're also basing it off education as well. So they're going to have you take a test and some financial literacy test, I would think, having to do with private equity. If you pass the test, you become a accredited investor. You no longer have to there's no longer a huge barrier to entry to money-wise, at least. So it used to be only the rich can be an accredited investor, fuck you. But now it's like, oh, some rich people are idiots.
At that time, we are going to have a lot of jobs with nobody want to do it.
So let's
Jesus.
include education on this as well. So I really highly agree with this because I think it's opening new doors for new people. And like I said, I know a lot of dumb rich people, but I also know a lot of smart rich people. So
And I
just
think
because you have money doesn't mean you're
we should also
necessarily
clarify
smart.
what education means. You mentioned it earlier. We don't
Yeah.
necessarily mean a 4-year degree. We mean
No,
a financial
yeah.
literacy test.
Yeah.
So this is one that they're still deciding how to,
Yeah.
a lot of things regarding it.
It's probably going to have to do with like how you value a company, like acknowledging the certain risks.
Probably
and-
some broad glossary terms,
acknowledging
vocabulary.
acknowledging the risks within the private equity scene, because
That's
pri-
extremely important.
private equity is not very liquid, which means if you invest in a company, it's not the easiest and not the quickest to get the money out if you want to sell it. Whereas a stock, you can buy a stock 1 minute and sell it the next minute if it's a liquid stock, and it has a lot of trading volume. But private equity is the exact opposite of that.
And this isn't all that insane, because when you think about how, let's say, Robinhood, if you become an options trader on Robinhood, it literally presses you. It's like, bro, do
Yeah.
you know your shit? Don't fuck
Exactly.
with me. All right, and then you lose it all. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. But
No broker lets you.
Yeah.
No broker lets you trade options or like foreign exchange, foreign currencies until you've proven your knowledge.
Yep.
Which is great that the SEC is doing this now. It used to be just with brokers and with
I
stockbrokers
wish you had
and
dole
stuff.
Jay Powell to the death to decide if you could invest. That's fucking badass.
Lightsaber battle.
But yeah,
That would be fun.
You're like,
I'd be down for that.
yeah, just like, no, you die. Yeah. Fucking Powell, baby,
Oh man.
supreme leader.
The supreme leader Powell.
Yeah, but what do you think? How is this going to change the way people are investing now, who maybe, let's say, they are wealthy but they don't have money, and how is it going to change people who don't have money but are educated? How do you think? How do you think?
Well, I don't think it will change the people that have money, because they can do this regardless if they have education or not. But it'll be extremely valuable to people who don't have. You gotta have money to invest. That's like.
You don't think they're going to necessarily, the educated but unwealthy might force some of the wealthier out because they can now get into those spaces?
Possibly, yeah.
Well, that's the way I was looking at it,
but
potentially.
I would, as a company looking for investments, I would take what I can get.
100%.
I would take as much as I can get, whether it's from a wealthy guy or from a financially literate, maybe not so wealthy guy. I would take what I can get, and if we do good, then the investors will be happy, and that's how it goes. But I think it'll be especially beneficial towards, because nothing has changed really, like on the like the wealthy side of it, I guess. Right now, it's these people who previously couldn't and had a very big barrier to entry. Like, what career other than having your own business or something like that is going to pay you $200,000 a year? Not very many things.
Yeah.
And so
after taxes,
yeah,
nothing.
Hell no. So I think that's like fucking huge.
What we have to also ask, is that pre-tax or post-tax? $200,000.
I think it's pre-tax.
Okay.
I didn't specify in the article though.
Oop.
That's what I would assume is pre-tax dollars.
Well, that ends our discussion on that. But yeah, I think the systemic reach that will have serious something smart. I don't know.
I'm kind of retarded.
I'm not gonna lie to you, kind of retarded. All right, which one do you want? This is the red one or the brown one?
Give me the brown one.
All right. I'll start the timer and we'll get this puppy going. Boom. 5 minutes on the clock. So, unemployment. New COVID-19 layoffs make job reductions permanent. As companies brace for years of pandemic-related disruption, thousands of furloughed workers are told they won't be coming back. So, going to break that down really quick. They were people that got furloughed, so they were not technically, they were basically dismissed from working, so they were in a state of limbo, where they weren't fired, but they weren't, laid off. They were just kind of there. They're like, hey, we want you. We don't need you right now. That's kind of where they're like, come on, buddy.
It's like having a side chick.
They basically had a side chick for a lot of people. They were just like, hey, babe, if I got some free time, baby Don will give me a couple money. I could take you out sometime.
Exactly.
Maybe Big D give me that big end, But aside, they're like, Daddy, yeah? And then they're like, Daddy, no. And then they gave him the fucking pimp slap, and they kicked under the curb and spit on their face.
Oh, my God.
That's basically how it happened. I mean, look at this, what's happening in small businesses. This is an anecdotal story about this girl, Lenore Estrada, co-founder of Three Bays Bake Shop in San Francisco. She had to furlough 20 of her 26 employees in March. She brought back some of them in April and May when she got a Paycheck Protection Program loan. That's a PPP loan. But revenue in the bakery is still down 40% compared with a year ago. When the PPP money ran out, Ms. Estrada had to permanently lay off many of her workers earlier this month. She has about a dozen left, but says she is losing $15,000 a month and may have to cut more. And this is, quote, the assumption is if I get no outside assistance, how would I make this work, she asked. Then added, I'm assuming that help isn't coming. So this is really fucked up because this is a small business where she has actual people in the middle and working class in the lower. I don't know who the fuck works at her bakery, But the point is she has Americans working there, and they're getting laid off because she doesn't have the money support, and the ones that she has on, she is literally suffering because she has it. She's losing $15,000 a month for the employees she's still keeping. So this is just bullshit because big airline companies like American Airlines, United, check this shit out. American Airlines said that unless it receives more federal aid, it will furlough 17,500 union workers and move forward with 1,500 layoffs in its management ranks this fall. Flight attendants, 8,100 of whom are furloughed, would be the most affected. Airlines agreed not to terminate employees or cut pay rates through the end of September as a condition of taking $25 billion in federal funds. $25 billion, and they're still doing this shit? And their stock prices are still going up. What about the last fucking 4 or 5 years when they were doing great and they were buying back all those stocks? What kind of fucking asset allocation is that? Shouldn't you have pull an Apple and have some cash set aside for when shit hits the fan? You release an iPad 69, it doesn't do so well. You need that cash because you're like, oh fuck it, we're big dick energy. We're gonna slap on more fucking products. What they're doing is they're just saying, $25 billion? Okay, yeah, we'll wait till September and then we'll fuck you guys off. Yeah, we're not paying you yet, but we're just gonna wait. What kind of bullshit is this? United's doing it too. MGM's doing it. MGM laid off a quarter of their 68,000 pre-pandemic workforce. With that being said, I don't quite necessarily blame them as much because they're in the casino business, and the travel industry is fucked right now. So MGM is more understandable, but their stocks are going up because they're saying they're cutting costs, and on the balance sheet it looks good. But these are people's lives we're talking about. You can't really put a price on that, and they're not getting the money that they need to sustain themselves, which if they had the money, they could be spending and fuel the economy. So now we're just in a fucking shit swamp situation, and I don't know what to do with it. Riley,
I'm just as passionate as you are about this,
Yeah.
Stevie. This shit pisses me the fuck off.
Just
This is like
piss poor leadership and asset allocation.
it's oh my god. Fuck me
Did I
up.
never give you your coffee? Shit.
No, I'm good though.
It's been 4
I'll have
minutes.
it, but
Yeah.
I'm good.
Dude, you must be so tired over there. I'm so sorry.
I'm cold. I need
So
something
cold. I need my coffee.
But yeah, going off what Stevie was saying, like this is kind of the timeline of it happened with all the banks in 2008, and it's happening with the travel industry and airlines right now.
Yeah,
All these airlines. So I'll use the airline example. So American Airlines, for the past 10 years, when business has been booming, travel's been great, they've been using extra cash that they've had on their balance sheet. Instead of saving it and allocating it towards something like this, when a pandemic happens, they've been recirculating it back into their stock, which artificially pumps the price up, directly benefiting members of the board and CEOs.
Yep.
Nobody else other than other shareholders. But, I mean, like, the people who get the
You're
shit end of the stick.
if you're a fucking
Employee.
working employee
Exactly.
who's an airline
You're
flight attendant,
fucked.
you're not even, you're not one of those people that have a lot of shares in the company that are like, ooh, I hope the stock price goes up,
Yeah.
because that's most of their net
I pray
worth,
to God they gave you like a share option when you signed your contract to be a pilot or a flight attendant. That in the contract
Yeah,
they gave you some shares out of like
Uh-oh.
just out of doing that, I guess. But yeah, that's just like it's just. And these people know that the government will bail them out. And so they fucking do it anyways. And that's why I keep saying we need to let the free market run. There needs to be a lesson here so that this doesn't fucking keep happening.
We got to let the strong companies with core values that actually are implemented and not just on paper.
And the people that say like, oh, but then like there'll be no airlines. Fuck no. There's still going to be airlines.
We got Spirit, baby. We're good.
Dude, there's so many fucking...
It's going to be a bumpy fucking ride, but we'll get there.
There's so many other fucking people that can start airlines that have money or that can fucking... that can like, in a refiling, like if one were to go bankrupt.
Aww.
What's up, Luna?
We're going to pop up.
Yeah, on a brighter note, sorry. Steve just got a new puppy. It's the cutest shit ever. You're the cutest.
Oh, Charlie.
You're the cutest thing, Charlie.
Well, we just finished our last segment. Oh, don't make sure she doesn't fall.
Jesus. So yeah, Steve just got a new dog. It's the cutest thing on planet Earth. Please don't mess up my computer. But we're not coming to coffee. But yeah, that is a podcast. So thanks for tuning in once again. We appreciate you guys listening to us. Please like, subscribe, turn the notification bell on if this interests you or you liked it, and please share it with your friends. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.